Mike's trying to kill us. I'm pretty sure Mike wants us dead. And now look though. I already had 4 of them. Yeah. Oh. I hurt on my insides.
2 boxes, right?
It's 2 boxes. Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat. Happy Monday, everybody. How's it going out there? Hey, Mike, what are you doing, brother? So, old Mike, one of our customers, sent us 2 16-count Reese's Big Cups, and you can see the one. I've already had 4, and I was feeling great for a while, and now I don't feel so good. But I want another one so bad. Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat. Thank you, Mike, by the way. That was nice and awfully mean of you as well. But thank you for that. Yeah, people, you don't have to send us stuff, by the way. It usually hurts me. It's the Closing Beat. It's a stock market update show that we do, and we just happen to like candy at the same time there. So we'll be talking about that here today, and I appreciate all of you that have subscribed. We're like right there. We're almost to 100,000 subscribers, and you know, it's kind of cool. I just think that's cool that we're getting there. So I appreciate the support if you like what we're doing here for you today. Got some good stuff for you, so I'm going to dive right into it. Won't take up much of your time today so that you can learn and go get your dough straight, right? So here we go. If we look at the stock markets here today, kind of an interesting start to the week, huh? We spent last week, actually, if you're not familiar with this, for our customers, I do a weekly email. It goes out to customers and research members if you want to join a research site. And we were talking about the stock market and how this was really not that big of a pullback, so I kind of went through everything. Then I spent a little bit of time on the yield curve. Right, people talking about this yield curve thing, that was kind of the talk last week, and I just broke it down in real simple terms, just pretended like, hey, what if you want to invest in bonds? What if you were the person, in fact, the yield or the bond issuer, right? How would that work? And I just tried to break it down real simple. So if you are one of our customers, maybe head on over to the Notes from Jazz. It's in your portal now. You just go right on in there and you can check it out. But the pullback just like that, right? Just small little pullback and then immediately reverse today. You got a good start. I'm going to actually start over here with the Russell if we could today. So the Russell 2000 almost nearly back to highs. It's up 3.6% just today. Just today, that puts it up about 15% year to date. There were over 100 names today that gained over 10% or more. If you're looking inside of there, a couple names you may know, some of you are going to know. Blue Green Vacations, real big down here because their headquarters are in Orlando, I believe. These are the guys that, it's like timeshares, right? They sell timeshares and vacation rentals and things like that. Hit new highs today. That was one of the ones that pulled back towards the end of the day, but basically up 10%. For the day. AMC, you know the company, right? You know what they're doing here. So AMC around $9. GameStop as well. Another 18% gain on the day for everybody playing around with that one. You got Cars.com, also almost to new highs there. Had a really strong day, 21%, reversing all of the losses last week, going back up there. Just some incredible moves in the Russell. Groupon. Yeah, Groupon. Up 32% just today. Cool little technical pattern that kicked in on Friday. It just blasted off today. Everybody chasing all over that one. Nonetheless, what I was trying to say is that puts the Russell almost back to highs. That's still your leader for the year, 15% year to date. That's an incredible run for the Russell and very, very cool to see. If you look at the NASDAQ, let's have a little fun here. Let's go this way. We're going to go NASDAQ. Okay, so NASDAQ up about 3% year to date. And if you look through today, basically everything in the NASDAQ 100 was positive today. The only thing that wasn't positive was like Starbucks. You know, Starbucks broke out on Friday. We weren't here, but that happened. And some of the biotech names, got Alexion Pharmaceuticals. I believe this is a merger of some kind. Vertex, one of the ones that's closest to making new 52-week lows. And then I think Dexcom, slight down day, 0.25% down day there. But if you're looking inside the NASDAQ today, Zoom just takes off right off the 200-day moving average, looking good. I believe it got an upgrade as well. Tesla starting to recover from some of last week's declines and the past couple weeks as it's pulled back. Up 6% there, looking good. Semiconductors are going to be some of the highlights today. Lam Research looking good. CLAC or KLA 10 core, however you want to look at it. These are some of the bigger movers there. And then your, what would you say? not virus stocks necessarily, but the virus type stocks. DocuSign was higher on the day. Apple finally getting a little bit of a bounce after pulling back there as well. Pulled back a little bit more, I would say. And the Chinese names, I want to point those out. They had a bit of a pullback last week, getting gobbled up today. JD.com, Baidu, a little bit of a gain there, 4%. It's pretty good for that one actually. And other than that, it's going to be semiconductors. Micron, Intel, AMAT, all of those inside of the NASDAQ 100. If we go over to the S&P here, you got a 2.5% gain. It's up over 4% now year to date. March is historically known for being a strong start. And I tried to put this together in a couple ways, so bear with me here. Let's see if we can do this. Here is March's performance broken down day by day for since the SPY became available. It's the original ETF, the granddaddy of all ETFs, started in 1993. So we pulled back every single day of March in the SPY, going back to the very first day that it started. And I tried to find a couple different ways to highlight this. I was going to give you all the numbers, and I thought, well, that's kind of boring. Let's see if we can find another interesting way. So what I did is I put the start of each month in a vertical line so you can see. And then what I want to highlight is if you look at March, there's no other month like this in the S&P. If you look at March, look how it starts and fades, right? Outlier year, starts and fades, 95, 96, outlier year. Starts and fades 3 years in a row, another outlier year. You got starts and fades. You can just see it over and over again to varying degrees, sometimes bigger than others, the way it starts the month. But March is known for starting off really strong and then just sort of fading away. Not negative, not being negative, but just sort of fading away. So 65% of the time in the first 5 days is where you get all the excitement, the first 5 trading days of March. So I took all of the first 5 trading days of March, posted them on the chart there or the table for you to see. So you can see that it's not very often that March starts off with to the downside. And usually if it does, it's pretty nasty. You got a 6% drop in 2009, 3 in 2008. You got 2011 down 1% or so in the first 5 days. That's normally known as being a big move. I know that this market's a little bit different. But other than that, look at the severity of the starts of the first 5 trading days of March. 3%, 1%, 1%, or 2% basically, 1%, 3%, a couple small years in there, 2%. These are not normally just sort of, hey, welcome to March. It's just going to be another month and whatever happens, happens, man. No, it's like a really good, strong start. So I hope that was a cool way of showing you that this is normal. That this is actually not anything sort of outside the box there in terms of how Marches start. So just maybe a different way of bringing you some kind of different knowledge there. All right, let's go over to our sector breakdown here for the day if I am able to do that. I believe I should be able to do that. There we go. Here is the breakdown of how everything performed today. So you got tech and financials leading the way here today. Every single sector in the positive. For the day, I should say. Every single sector in the positive for the day. I'll start with energy because that one's the strongest here in the short term. If you look year to date for energy, we'll just pull back year to date. We'll go only energy on the charts. We break above 30% year to date. This is literally the start of the 3rd month, and we're up 30 freaking percent there. I want to point out something. If you are one of our research members or one of our customers, you can actually go into the dojo now. I'll go over to charts so you can see all of this. So if you go over there, you now have the research tools available to you. You have 2 different ways you can look at it. Calendar, meaning you want to see a 1 month, 1 week, 1 year sort of period, and you want to actually categorize it by the calendar. And then we have a rolling search here, which is what I'm going to use with you today, where you can say at any period, any 5 days, any 20 days, any 2 months, any 1 year. So we're going to look at XLE because I think this is kind of important here. But if you want to play along and you're one of our customers or research members, you can actually go check it out. Let's just say we want to see any period of time where energy is up 20% and it's up, we now know 30% in the first 2 months. So we want to say any 2-month stretch where it's up to 25% or more. What happens after that? When it's had such a quick run, I'll go back 20 years just for fun. We'll see what we come up with. Because I honestly played with this earlier just to see what would happen. But again, rolling 2-month searches. So it's done this a total of 6 times in the last 20 years. It's not normal, right? And below, we actually highlight the times that this has happened, to what degree. We have never been up 30% or more in just a 2-month period. Never happened, right? So that's why we had to choose 25. I chose 30 earlier. I didn't get anything. So, and after tomorrow, I guess I would get one. But as of now, we've never had that. So then what we want to do is look forward and say, is that good news or is it bad news? Should I take profits? Should I scale back a little bit? Should I be anxious to look for a pullback? Look at the forward stats here. The average return going forward is a slight decline. Median performance is a bigger decline. It's only positive 20% of the time. In fact, it's only been positive once. Right? So that would be the last 2-month stretch where that happened. It was only positive by 5% going forward. So the point being here is that if you have energy as or any stocks in the energy sector, and you see it pull back a little bit or it's struggling to move higher, although today was great, you may start to see a little bit of weakness there historically. It's not a lot of data points, but again, I'm trying to point out that this is really rare what's happening. And I'm still bullish on energy for the year, but in the ultra short term, maybe it's something to consider. And again, that tool is available for you if you want to go check that out as a research member or in our if you're one of our customers there. All right, so we're going to take a look here. I'll go back. We've got financials leading the way in tech. So let's take a look over here at financials. Now, financials have had a great run since that last pullback. It's just left everybody in the dust there. If we're taking a look here today, the asset managers were the ones that lead, even though it has a bunch of digits still. You've got IVZ, right? If I click on this one here, you're going to be able to see its competitors bolded. Larger circles is what I'm trying to say. And all of those were your big leaders today. So you've got Invesco is one of the asset managers. You could put State Street in there, Schwab. If you go down here, you're going to probably find T. Rowe Price, Franklin Templeton, Ameriprise. These are the big ones here. You could also hover over this to find BlackRock, State Street we put in there, Franklin, Ben Franklin Resources, Northern Trust, T. Rowe. All of those were all the excitement today. Not that everything else was bad. It's just that was the biggest group that had the best performance as a industry. So remember, it goes index, sector, industry if you're looking at the stock market there. Going over to healthcare. I just want to point out a couple things here. Healthcare actually turns positive year to date. So if we go over here to healthcare, just using these charts, we were down just a touch. We now go positive today thanks to a 1.3% gain on the day. And if you go inside of healthcare, not my favorite sector to look at, but if we go inside of healthcare, you see this pullback here now starting to get bought up. And if you look at the biggest gainers on the day, this wasn't a big contributor, but you've got Dental Supply in there doing well, Perigo as well, and IDEX, right? These are a couple that just to point out there. If you look on the downside, you can see not everybody played along. Those biotech companies, like I mentioned before, for some reason, they're just dragging behind a little bit. Your biggest contributors on the day are going to be Abbott Lab and Danaher, along with Thermo Fisher and United, a couple other gainers there. And Johnson & Johnson, naturally having a good day with that vaccine news that came out for them. One last thing I'll point out is industrials over here. Industrial's about to hit new 52-week highs. Boeing's going to be your big contributor here today because United Airlines actually said that they are ordering 25 more 737 MAXs, I believe it was, 20 or 25 of them. And so obviously it shows confidence that in the new, hopefully the new and improved and never to crash again 737 MAX. So Boeing would be your leader in the industrials, also your biggest contributor there as well, just purely due to its size. Let's go to the new highs and new lows for the day. All right. So last week we talked about Viacom, and Viacom, one of the distributors of communications, obviously sitting at new highs and everything. You got Comcast today. Cool pattern, right? Cool little breakout here. That's that same concept where it fell, used all its energy to get back to those highs, did nothing for a week or so, and then gets energy. That's what you like to see. I've said that so many times here to point out those stocks. You want to not chase them when they use all their energy to get back to highs. Also, you're going to have News Corp in the mix there as well. I just put that together with Comcast just because it's kind of the same group there. Cisco, the food company, that was the breakout from last week, sort of continuing. It hit new highs, but you know, considering the markets had such a good day, 1.6% seems a little disappointing, but still that's a good day, right? Not to bash on that one. I put Invesco in there just in case you missed a second ago. We were talking about the asset managers or fund managers, people like Jazz, just a whole lot bigger. 10% gain for them, new 52-week highs. And Old Dominion Freight Line, we talked about this one last week, breaking the new highs nice and steady, right? You love those breakouts. It's cool to see something like Groupon just take off 30%. But when you have these nice consistent winners, they give you that calm gain, just day by day. Give me a little bit more. I don't need a lot, right? I don't need the quick like 1 day gain and then I got to figure out what to do. I like that one. Old Dominion continuing to move on there, also at 52-week highs. All right, let's go over to stocks in the news, and I'll take your questions once the stream catches up here. First up, you got Citigroup, Barron's, I believe it was. I was reading Barron's this week. They said they like the stock here with the new CEO taking over. They see higher prices, and they were very positive on that stock, by the way. Twilio is buying another messaging, or taking a minority stake, I should say, in another messaging company there. The Wall Street Journal came out with that. They put up like $750 million or something crazy, and it's like a 10% stake in the company. I believe it was called Synerverse. I looked up the website. I honestly don't know what they do. I looked it up just to see, but anyways, that's the news on that one today. Royal Caribbean pulling back ever so slightly here today. And why did I have Royal Caribbean? Oh, they're doing another $1.5 billion. Guys, there are so many people right now, so many companies that are selling stock to you because you're willing to pay for it. Royal Caribbean, $1.5 billion. They don't need it. They're doing it now because they can. They needed it before and they paid up. Now they're taking that extra money, raising it now, so they can go pay off all that high interest stuff they had to raise before. Super, super smart, in my opinion. I agree with what they're doing there, whether you do or not, is fine, but that's what was in the news here for the stock today, down about 2%. Logitech. So this one's been pulling back since about last week. They weren't eager to give guidance last week with some of the forward guidance for their earnings coming up there. Logitech comes out and they said, okay, fine. We see our stock falling. So we see full year sales actually pretty much as everybody expected on Wall Street. That was the news, right? So was that so hard? It wasn't so hard, just do it. Johnson & Johnson, by the way, they got their, you probably saw it in the news, they got their approval for their vaccine, one shot, by the way, and the CDC is basically saying, just take any shot you can get. It was a bad shot when Trump was the president, and now Biden's the president, now just take any shot you can get. So it's just fun to watch the news sort of switch around like that. But bottom line is that's one shot. I believe it is stored a lot easier. And so, if you're in that camp and you need a vaccine, you now have more choices to get there. So let's hope that continues, right? Let's get everybody back to work and back to Disney, right? Talk about what's important here. So moving forward. All right, I'll take your questions if you have any questions. And then we'll just, we'll wrap it up there, do our thing. AMC, yeah, all those people still playing the AMC game. Yep. Not a fan of that unnecessary volatility. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. Like if you occasionally have a position that just, you bought it and you were right, but you were right like in 2 days versus 2 months or something, that's fun. But if you're constantly chasing that, that's a tough life in the worlds of the market there. Yeah. Who said it was a bad shot? I don't think I see. You might be talking to somebody else. Yeah. Miriam's done with the mask. Ooh, you're only wearing one mask? You're supposed to be wearing 2 masks, right? Is that still a thing? The best thing I've done is stop watching the news. That's awesome. I love it. I couldn't tell you what's going on in politics or anything right now. I did watch the whole, I let it play in the background, the whole the House voting on the stimulus plan there. Interesting. It was really interesting to watch, I thought. Yeah. Hey, with the whipsaw market, do you think we'll see a break in the uptrend also? Yeah, that's the other part of this too. So you have this great day. Remember what happened last week, right? We had a great day and it was reversed right away. So if that starts to continue tomorrow, if we start to see the markets fading back, you're just going to have people go, oh, I remember what happened last week. Let me go ahead and sell this position that I made a profit on in one day or whatever it was. So tomorrow's a real test to see if we're going to chop around and it's going to be tough and just a messy market, or are we sort of responding to stimulus and reopening and all that? Is it really happening? Is the extra shots, the vaccines and everything? So I think it's, you're right in there somewhere. I think by tomorrow we have a better idea. You'd like to see tomorrow, normally I would say after you have a big day, you want to have a quiet day. You'd actually like to see tomorrow give us a little bit more momentum. Just keep it going there so it puts any of those questions of a pullback out of people's heads, at least in the short term. No masks in Florida. Yeah, everybody wears masks down here. Yeah, I would say probably 90% of people. Yeah. I've been in stores. You see people walking around. They don't get beat up or anything, but there's There's probably 10% of people that either forget their mask or they just don't want to wear it, or nobody really bothers them that I can tell. Yeah. And I don't mean to get you started on a mask thing. I was joking. Stock market, that's what we do here. A little jab at politics when they mess with your money and stuff, but you know what I'm doing. Can you explain what it means that QQQ is a trust and QQQM is a true ETF? They're both true ETFs, but if you're looking at something like the QQQM, wait a minute, did I type that right? Yeah, so this is your NASDAQ 100. It's a competitor. I mean, it's just, that's what it is. There's nothing, it's a NASDAQ 100. It's another way to look at it. It's not leveraged or anything. Qs are the I don't believe they were the second ETF out there, but they are one of the older ones. It used to be 4Qs, actually. So nothing wrong with that. Different business model, same progress. Got your vaccinations. Well, now you can go on a cruise, right? Didn't they say you have to prove vaccination to go on a cruise? Somebody say that? Yeah. All right, you guys want to talk about politics and the masks and stuff? How about 3M? 3M, poor guys, they've done nothing. So really dead stock there. I mean, it at times can be exciting, and I say that because you see the volatility. So here's an example for old Doc there. So here's an example of volatility that's not really that bad. It is choppy, but it's not inside of like a Tesla range where it's $100 higher and lower. This one's okay. I mean, I like this stock over the long run, but you've got to be okay with that back and forth. You can have Christmas tree trading for months and months on end, but that's what you have there. Hey, the 10-year, yeah, giving a little bit of a break there, actually, right? So we got a little bit of, just a little one. By the end of the day, it gave back some of it, but parabolic last week, finally get a little bit of a recovery there on Friday and then going into today. I think if you don't see a recovery here, which means yields going back down, you've got the Fed in 2 weeks, the 16th, I believe, 2 Wednesdays from now. I'll bet you they use their mouths, try to get that thing back down. We will see. All right. Got you fired up. Let me get out of the way. Okay, so yeah, that's all I got for you there. Remember, right, is the research thing in there? It's up and running. Okay, so if you are a research member or you are a customer, that is in there, and you are all good to go. Oh, well, we're going to have to change that. Okay, so it's going up, right? Yeah. So anyways, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks so much for supporting us. Hope you learned something here today. That is the goal. We like to teach instead of just tell you what to do, let you learn as well. Enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow.